Russell Gage, right? His first look as a Buccaneer.
Very excited to see him.
I want to see Russell Gage, man.
Yeah, I'm curious. Gage will be there, I would imagine, because he's a new player on a new team. But I'm curious, like, how many veterans will actually show up? Because I remember, like, last year, it was the Brady OTA. Like, they all went to catch passes from Tom Brady. Only Giovanni Bernard was like one of the few veterans that was really, that was doing both.
It was there with the coaches, yeah.
Yes, yeah, with the coaches, and also went with Tom Brady as well too. I think this year as well, like I remember Arians was so mad that Tyler Johnson didn't show up for one of the practices. I would imagine with us talking about the wide
Keyshawn Vaughn too.
Yeah, like Keyshawn Vaughn has to be there. Tyler Johnson needs to be there. Jalen Darden needs to be there as well too. But Gage, yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, obviously we've watched him on tape. We've seen him play against the Bucs with being on the Atlanta Falcons and playing them twice a year. But I just want to see what again, we see it on tape, but I want to see what he's going to bring that's different to the Bucs offense. And can he step up and be that number 2 receiver next to Mike Evans if Chris Godwin isn't healthy by the start of the season? So I'm really excited to see him. And as you see on the screen there as well, too, the rotation at left guard as they still figure out who's going to replace the legend Ali Marpet. I think it's going to be an awesome competition.
I get a pretty good idea of some veterans that will be there tomorrow. Aaron Stinnie will be there, right? Nick Leverett will be there.
Yeah.
Robert Hainsey will be there. These 3 guys, I don't care if it's voluntary or not. I mean, like they're going to reschedule their lives around these OTAs, and they're going to be there. They have to be, right? Because they've got some new competition now. If it wasn't a battle royale before, Matt, it is now when you throw in Luke Gadecki, the 2nd-round pick. So how are those reps going to be divided? Who's going to kind of get the starting reps? How much are we going to see, how much are we going to see a player like Nick Leverett or Robert Hainsey into the mix? Is it mostly going to be Stinnie and Gadecki? I'm curious to see. I'm also curious to see Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. This is year 2 for him. This should not be new. This is, you're a veteran now. You've been through 17 games. I always kind of use that measuring stick right there. If you've played a full season, right, that makes you a veteran. And now Joe Tryon-Shoyinka stepping in for Jason Pierre-Paul, who will not be back with the Buccaneers. And how do we know that, Matt? We know that because this guy has his jersey, right?
Yeah.
They gave the number 90 jersey to Logan Hall. So they've closed the door on Jason Pierre-Paul, I believe.
Yeah, we spoke about this a lot on Friday, so everyone watching this can go back and watch that show. But it seems that the Bucs are moving on from Jason Pierre-Paul, and they're going to be moving away from Ndamukong Suh as well, too. Veteran guys. Suh, I still think there's a little more gas left in the tank, but veteran guys that have lost a step, or in JPP's case, just a lot of injuries and can't sustain the high level of play that they once had. So the Bucs are moving in a different direction there. Yeah. Really excited to see Logan Hall against Shaq Mason as we talk about the rookie veteran matchups. Again, it goes back to what you're talking about with Gadecki too, where these guys can go up against college level players and rookies that aren't going to be on the team come August. But it's another thing when you're really thrown into the mix, going up against some of the best players too. Like I know we're talking about rookies and veterans, but I hope Logan Hall gets to go up against Gadecki and we see those 2 rookies.
Yes, that would be interesting, right?
Yeah, really battle it out. The first 2 picks as well too, both 2nd-round picks. Right. So on an even playing field too. And going back to veterans and rookies playing against each other and maybe taking each other under their wing too. There's obviously that connection in Galveston, Texas with Mike Evans and Zyon McCollum being from the same hometown. I understand, like, a receiver can be a mentor. A player can be a mentor to anyone, but like receiver, cornerback, I don't know how much Mike Evans can help him as a corner. I'm sure he can help him with tendencies of wide receivers and things like that too.
Right.
But I'm just excited to see the relationship that they form or that they might already have being from the same hometown.
I think it's going to be a father-son relationship because I think Mike Evans is going to be the daddy in this one.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen, right?
He's going to body him up in the red zone a little bit on some fades to the corner.
I like Zyon McCollum. You like Zyon McCollum. The team likes Zyon McCollum. Everybody likes Zyon McCollum. Okay. He's making a jump from Sam Houston to the NFL. We saw Jalen Darden struggle a little bit for North Texas, making that jump to the NFL. Matt, you were there at the Senior Bowl, right? And I mean, I was a big Zyon McCollum fan. I wrote about him being one of the guys to watch at the Senior Bowl. He really didn't stand out that much because of the jump in competition, right?
Yeah, 100%. When we went there, we split up different responsibilities. Like Casey Hudson was looking a lot at the wide receivers. John Ledyard knows literally everything about the draft. And, I was looking at, tight end and some edge rushers in different positions. But McCollum was a player that didn't really, the secondary, I think, struggled, except Jalen Petrie out of Baylor. I think the secondary, there weren't too many standout guys. And McCollum I don't think he played bad, but he definitely didn't do anything where I was like, okay, the Bucs absolutely need to draft this guy. Now, the Senior Bowl, while very important and awesome and exciting to go to, I think, if you have a bad practice or something like that, it's not the end all be all. Like you're not going to get overlooked just because of like one bad practice. It can obviously help a lot of people, like Jermaine Johnson at Florida State, who got drafted by the Jets. But yeah, McCollum didn't really stand out there too much, but as you said, it's a learning curve. He's relying a lot on Kevin Ross to help him, adjust to this level, shrink the field, as he's talked about how it's a shorter field.
And
so
you got a Zyon McCollum story coming out tomorrow on PewterReport.com.
Yeah, where he talks about his relationship with Kevin Ross and how he's helped him move to this level, and also too just advice that he's gotten from Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy Bunting after meeting them. So keep a lookout for that. Zyon McCollum he's a very exciting player in this draft class.
I like Zyon, and I think you're right. He and Mike Evans both went to the same high school in Galveston. Mm-hmm. You know that Mike Evans is going to take him under his wing, coach him up, right? And it's going to be fascinating to see a 6'2" cornerback that has the speed and athleticism that Zyon McCollum does go up against a Pro Bowl, future Hall of Fame wide receiver, 6'5", very physical and fast wide receiver Mike Evans. But I think that he's also going to beat him like a drum. I think that Mike Evans is gonna just give this kid like a welcome to the NFL moment, but then coach him up. But then
of course, and that goes back to what I was talking about earlier on, where McCollum made a mistake and then he rebounded from it and regrouped, and that's exactly what Todd Bowles wanted to see. And Mike Evans is like we all know the stories, like how Mike Evans goes out of his way to help out literally anyone, not just his own teammates, but even like I don't know, a week or two ago, Grant Stewart's been going on Instagram Live a lot, like when he's working out. And Mike Evans just like popped in and they were talking to each other on Instagram Live. He's like, yeah, man, just want to say what up and like see how you're doing and stuff like that. It's just typical Mike Evans. Just
he likes to help people, but he also likes to beat the hell out of defensive backs too. So Zyon McCollum, get ready for Mike Evans.